Hey, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and in some instances you had middle of the morning as well. Thank you, folks. Good to have you here. And oh, did you just spotlight me, Duncan? Thank you for that. Okay. You got me and my colleague Peter. Peter, say hello to the good people.
Hey everybody, how is everyone doing today? If you're well.
All good, and we're kind of fielding both sides of the Atlantic. So I'm here in New Jersey, and Peter's across the pond in London, or a little east of London, is it?
Well, not quite London.
Everything London for us people, for us folks who are not so familiar is near London, let's say, right?
Near London.
Actually, it's a good segue into why don't you actually tell us where you're joining from, Peter? Put it in the chat. So, those of you who are regulars at StreamAlive events know the drill. We kick it off with just seeing where everybody's joining from. It's a beautiful world. It's a big world, and we'd love to know where you're joining from. So if you can just type it in the chat, I might have just paused this again. I'm going to reset it again. So if you typed, just type it again if you don't mind, please. And we should have answers coming in. There we are. A little sluggish, I guess. You got Bobby in Toronto, and it's a beautiful 70 degrees in Toronto with broken clouds and 11 in the morning, the same time zone as where I am over here. Thank you for joining us, Bobby. We got Thea at Staten Island, not too far away from Basking Ridge, which is where I am, and maybe I should just put that in as well. So I'm in a place called Basking Ridge, which is as suburban New Jersey as it gets, and that's me. I just popped in over there. And yeah, we got similar climates over here. And let's kind of hop across the pond. We've got more people coming in over here in the US. Let's see who we've got over here. Peter, so you told us actually where you are from? We got, oh, we got another Peter. Oh, we got
Two
David
Peters in here, yes.
Byrne, and we
Popular
got
name today.
I'm going to butcher the pronunciation. It's Sinsheim. Peter, would you know?
I would not even want to attempt to pronounce that one.
No, it's me, Peter Renensland from Sinsheim, yes.
Right. How do you
Right.
pronounce it again?
What do I pronounce?
How do you pronounce the place you're from, Peter?
Sinsheim.
Sinsheim. Thank you. We learned something new today. Thank you. And it's more difficult to navigate the globe from left to right. So I'm going to do my favorite interaction, which is really putting it out as a globe and just literally fly around here. Mehdi, you're in Istanbul. Wow. Good for you.
Yeah, that's the first time we've had someone from Turkey come onto this call.
I think yes. First time from anyone close to the Bosphorus. Yes. From Kigali. And we've got Duncan, of course, from Shillong, which almost has the same weather as here in New Jersey. Gosh, yeah. And Duncan, it's 8:30 in the evening for you. So I think you get the award for most late in the evening because we don't have anyone who's claiming to be from Singapore or Australia at this point, right? And I just wonder what a picture would look like with all of these different locations. Peter, should we try it? I always get
Yes.
mixed results with this, but hey, that's the objective of this call, right? Just have a bit of fun, see what happens. Should we?
Yeah, let's hit it and see what AI comes up with.
Let's see what those beautiful places look like in one image. It's funny, sometimes it just takes one or two places, sometimes it takes all of them. Okay, that looks interesting. It's mentioned, AI still doesn't get copyright, right? I mean, it still struggles with it. Should I try a new image?
Let's go.
Are you? Yeah, I'm going to keep clicking on new image till Peter is happy, folks. So, and Peter leads marketing for us, so it takes a lot to make him happy. So, hey, that looks better, right?
This looks like a kind of a protest slash gathering. We've got Toronto in the background.
Yeah, we do with the tower. I don't know what it's called, but
Yeah,
it's that tower.
yeah,
That's the one.
tower.
Yeah, it's amazing how iconic something represents each place. But it's not a protest. Everybody looks smiling and happy, which
Yeah.
I wish we saw more of. But yeah, it's interesting. Good segue into checking out the pulse of how familiar people are with StreamAlive, Peter.
Yes, let's do
Let's
it.
do that. All right, folks. You can answer multiple things here, by the way. So I just want to get a sense of who's in the room because we will accordingly tailor what we're going to show you today. So if you've never seen StreamAlive in action, just type the number 1 in the chat. If you've seen it as an audience, never as a presenter, type the number 2. If you use the web app and the Zoom app, type 3 and 4 or 3 comma 4, or you get the drill. So just get a sense of who we have in the room. So we have the majority of people have used our Zoom app, which is very interesting. Oh, and who do we have who's been testing out? Duncan's been testing our PPT add-in. That's cool. We've got Peter, David, Tina, and Duncan who've used the Zoom app. Duncan, have you ticked everything really? Because you've beta tested the PPT add-in, you've used the Zoom app, you've used the web app. Yes, that's true. So has Tina, so has Peter. Seen it as an audience, never as a presenter. Oh, fantastic. We're glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. And what we're going to show you is exactly what it looks like in a presenter view in a bit. You're still seeing it like an audience member would. And Mete, partners in performance, and Fred, partners in performance. Unless you change your Zoom name, we're going to call you partners in performance for the whole session. But welcome aboard. You just joined us. So we just trying to get a sense of who's in the room and how familiar you are with it. So a lot of you have never seen it in action, and you are seeing it in action right now, where a little while back you kind of participated in terms of telling us where you're joining from, and all those little dots came up in the little marble that all of us inhabit in this universe. And that was beautiful because it just gives a sense of connectivity. It mentions the time, the weather. So that's an interaction called Magic Maps, powered by chat. And here we are with a poll for me to literally read the audience, get a sense of the room. So what I'm going to do is, we're not going to, a lot of you have used the Zoom app, so we're not going to demo the Zoom app today, but we'll touch upon it for those of you who are not familiar. Those who've not seen it in action, you're seeing it in action right now. The chat is powering my screen. And very few of you, in fact, just one of you has actually seen the PowerPoint add-in, which I'm delighted about because it's not released yet. We have a beta program going on, and it's going into public availability next week. So I'd love to show you what we're building. So a lot of things to show you. And if you have any questions, just put them in the chat. We will sporadically jump into questions and look at any questions that you have. So again, you don't have to add a question mark before or put a Q colon or anything. StreamAlive's AI is smart enough to figure out if something smells like a question, pull it up, and keep it ready for Peter and me to answer. So just to show you how that works, I'm going to jump into my question slide over here to see what amazing questions people have already asked, besides the one that Peter has, which is, will lunch be provided? Peter, you're always
I'm hungry.
David, downloading and installing things. So quick thing, StreamAlive is entirely a browser-based application, runs off your web browser, multiple form factors. If you were using the Zoom app, you would need your admin to allow you to install apps if there is a restriction. And our PowerPoint add-in will require an admin to allow Microsoft PowerPoint add-ins to be enabled on your account, which we will show in a little bit. But the web application, which is kind of what I'm running right now, just runs off a browser. So if you're allowed to go to streamalive.com, you should be able to run StreamAlive. But if you have any other issues, just let us know in the support thing, which is the little blurb in the bottom right of our website and web application, and we'll be happy to see what we can do. Beautiful. So Peter, no lunch. I'm sorry, not for this session. And we've answered David's question, and we'll keep coming back to these questions once in a while. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to talk you through why we built StreamAlive, what it does, and we're going to use StreamAlive to demo StreamAlive. And then we're going to switch tracks, show you how the proverbial sausage is made, so to speak. And then we're going to show you what we're building out on PowerPoint, which we are all super excited about because it changes PowerPoint as we know it for the first time in 38 years. And we want to show you that as well. But let me get back to my flow over here. So this is kind of how you shared how familiar you are with, and we're going to try and show it to you in action. We're doing that. We're going to show you how it works as a presenter. We'll show you the web application. We'll touch upon the Zoom app, and we will show you the PowerPoint add-in, and we'll leave time for questions. So that's a lot to accomplish. So let's go with it. Quick heads up is the fact that we are going to be doing this on Zoom today, but StreamAlive works with multiple applications. So if you want to see StreamAlive in action on Teams, you're going to see that the day after tomorrow. So we do this twice a week, once on Zoom and once on Teams. just to keep things fun. And a lot of people think that Microsoft Teams and fun cannot be used in the same sentence. We beg to differ, and we will show you how. And I just noticed a friend of ours, Rick Altman, who is Mr. Presentation himself, just joined us. Thank you for joining us, Rick. And you've got to mark your presence over here. So Rick and anybody else who joined us late, we would love to know where you're joining from. So if you can just type in the Zoom chat as to where you're joining from, we'd love to have more dots on this. So just type in the Zoom chat where you're joining from, say hello if you'd like to over there, and we just want to see what comes up over here. So a couple more dots. I know we've got the West Coast covered as well. I want to cover those time zones too now with, okay, we got Rick and just putting in an answer there. Let's see what happens. Rick, you're in Pleasanton, where it's a very pleasant 65 degrees and 8 o'clock in the morning, first thing in the morning. Flattered that you decided to do this first thing in the morning. Thank you for joining us. Awesome. Anyone else who's new, feel free to tell us where you're joining from in the chat, and it's going to show up over here in the map with your weather and time just in case. And of course, my friend Peter Claridge had to type Wakanda, and it does pull up Wakanda. Tina had to type Hogwarts. I'm curious to see what comes up over there. It's not pulling up a picture there, but I think it pulled you up on Hogwarts. And we got other places coming as well. What is this one? We got Team Future Minds at, let me try and pronounce it right, Tilburg. All right, you got in the Netherlands. Beautiful country. Nice. Everyone has pleasant weather today. That's nice to see, right, Peter?
Yeah, absolutely. It's surprising even in the UK we have nice weather.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's an outlier. You don't have nice weather in the
Yeah.
UK, yes. Let's get back here. So our motto is very, very simple. Unmute the audience. And it's easy to unmute the audience when it's 2 or 3 or 4 people talking. What do you do when you have 10 or 40 or 50 or 100 or 1,500 people in a town hall or on all hands? You cannot literally unmute the audience. But that's why chat is a beautiful instrument and the most frictionless way to give the audience a voice. And our motto is turning one-way presentations into conversations and making these one-to-many sessions like what we're doing right now feel like one-to-one. Right? And hopefully you're getting a bit of a feel of that. Okay. I know we said we're going to demo our upcoming PowerPoint add-in. And before I do that, I just want to know which of these you use. And by the way, a lot of us use multiple things. So if like me, you use PowerPoint, Gamma, and Google Slides and Keynote, just type 1, 2, 3, 4 in the chat. Want to see what comes up, or type them as separate responses. Hey, whatever you prefer, right? Oh gosh, yes, PowerPoint for the win. And I almost feel like a horse race commentator. Peter, is there anything surprising to you over here?
No, I'm surprised quite a few people are using Gamma. That's quite interesting to see. One of the newer presentation creators. Interesting if anyone's going to be using Canva as well, because I've heard a lot of people are using Canva now for creating their presentation, but obviously PowerPoint is the number one. It's absolutely leading the pack just there.
Absolutely. And this is a good opportunity. Maybe you mentioned Canva, and thank you for reminding me. I probably should add Canva as an option here, right?
Yes. Well, you've got none of these, and yeah, I think we can change that to Canva.
We've got about 3 people at least using other presentation apps. I don't know if it's Canva, and then it's a good time to demo an ad hoc interaction. Let's go off script a bit. What do you say?
Yep.
Okay, so for the folks who said other presentation apps, and for anybody else who uses an app that's not mentioned, I'm just going to say what else, right? So I would love to, I'm just creating an ad hoc word cloud over here. So can you just tell us what apps you use? If it's Canva, like Peter hypothesized. Exam, I've not heard of that one. Prezi, oh yes, of course. I love Prezi, huge fan of Prezi. And Canva is getting bigger and bigger over there. So quite a few people talking about Canva. So Peter, you were not off the mark, and you got a couple for exam as well. We should check that out. Have you used exam, Peter?
I've not heard of it, so I'd have to look it up.
Have you been scared in an exam, Peter?
I did aerospace engineering, so it was constant. Every time I opened up that exam with all the equations and everything. That's why I became a marketer. It's a lot easier.
You should do a webinar just on that. Ecamm, okay. Okay. So I think there was a typo on exam. It was Ecamm. I love Ecamm as well. I'm actually using Ecamm to frame my camera right now. I love Ecamm with StreamYard where I use it when I'm changing stuff like what we're doing right now and everything. But yeah, huge Ecamm fan plus Ecamm community fan. So thank you. All right, perfect. And let's go back here. So what are, we talked about some of these AI applications, whether it's new kids on the block like a Gamma or a PowerPoint and Copilot or a Google Slides with Gemini or the older familiar applications who all added AI onto their stack. But the truth is, yes, you get better slides, prettier templates, a great starting point. It's certainly easier to create decks than it was before, but our hypothesis is that there are still things to solve. So before I tell you what we solve, if you were to choose one word, I just like to see one more word cloud here. What's the first word that comes up in your thing over here? If you were to talk about in a word most presentations were, and that's a good time for me to also show our editing thing.
I was going to say, I think I jumped the gun a little bit. Yeah, you need to reset.
I need to reset it. Okay, let's
Yeah.
reset. Hey, jumping the gun, resetting. I mean, our philosophy is actually quite simple. More presentations need to be more like improv comedy, like literally improvise on the spot. So folks, again, please just tell us the first word that comes to your mind. Linear. Oh gosh, we should use that word, Peter. That's pretty powerful.
Yes, marketing has caught on to that word. It might find its way into the website.
Thank you for that word. I mean, all these words are beautiful because uninteractive, linear, predictable, text, monotonous, bullet points. Absolutely. I mean, there are a lot of good things about PowerPoint, and don't mistake, I'm a huge fan. In fact, this is kind of what I'm reading right now. A beautiful book by the founder of PowerPoint, Robert Gaskins. We also emailed him last week to tell him what we're building, and he wished us luck with extending PowerPoint. It's I can't think of many other applications that have endured for 38, almost 40 years. That's it, and it's almost the same as what it was version one in way back in 1987. So that tells you a lot, right? Even before it was acquired by Microsoft. By the way, fun fact: Apple's first venture investment was in PowerPoint, which Microsoft acquired. So Apple made its first venture return on investment from Microsoft. It's a great piece of Silicon Valley trivia. Unnecessary, underestimated, very true. And hopefully we'll show you one way in which it's underestimated with what we're building within PowerPoint, brain dump. All of these are things we totally agree with, which is kind of why we think most presentations are one-way monologues. And presenters are often going slide, talk. And that's really what we want to change. And that's what we think is a fantastic opportunity to make it a conversation that goes listen, talk, by literally using AI in the ways we've shown you so far to turn chat into interactions like we've been doing. We've been having a conversation at scale right now, one to many, right? Otherwise, most interactivity, when people say there's interactivity, they mean a poll or they mean a Q&A. Or a yes or no, type a yes or no if you agree in the chat. And people have a lot more to share, right? So, for example, let's just go back to the previous slide where you all give amazing things over here. If I wanted to summarize what all of you said, I could simply say summary over here. And at this point, what I'm doing is getting a collective summary of the viewpoints and opinions of a whole bunch of people who've been kind enough to share their opinions. And here's a summary of what you said. There are engagement challenges, there are format limitations, the audience experience is boring and predictable, and there is a need for innovation. Couldn't agree more. What's a popular opinion? Most of you were using negative terms, and because it sounds like presentations are one-sided, lacking engagement, yes on all of those. Do we have any alternate voices? Not in this one. So it looks like we have a pretty consonant crowd that seems to be aligned in the fact that there is a lot of room for improvement. But I think what just happened here was beautiful, because unlike a poll or an open-ended, fixed format question, I actually had, closed-ended fixed format question. I had an open-ended question, had so many opinions, and the ability to summarize all your beautiful opinions in one clean paragraph of text, which is essentially having the equivalent of, hey, raise your hands if you agree, and eyeballing the audience and getting a visual sense of what everybody is saying. But this is more than just a binary construct. And we think that is very powerful. I'll stop geeking out on that for now. So that's our philosophy. Very quick thing on our why. So I'm Lux Narayan. I'm a co-founder and the CEO at StreamAlive. And around the pandemic, for various reasons, including a personal family emergency, I took a break and used the time to write this book, which was in my head for a very long time. That's the book. And the reason I shamelessly plug in my book over here is because I didn't know anything about writing a book. You might read my book at some point and say I still don't, but that's besides the point. I binged on half a dozen courses to learn how to write, edit, and market a book. These were 6 courses delivered over 56 live sessions, mostly on Zoom, some on Google Meet, 2 on Facebook Live, and at least 1 on YouTube Live because the person didn't want to buy a Zoom webinar license for 1,200 people. Class sizes from 11 to 1,200, and one of 3 things would happen. Presenter goes talk, 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 talk. People tune out, wait for the recording, watch it at 1.5 times the speed because, hey, there's no difference. Or the presenter asks questions like what we did in the beginning, which is, when we ask people, hey, where are you joining from? And you have 100 different answers, and we say, we got Peter from Reading, we got Duncan from Shillong, and ignore the remaining 23 people who put an answer out there in the chat. Or the third, which in my opinion was the most self-sabotaging, is one where a person is in front of their screens like this, and the presenter says, okay, everybody whip out your cell phone, scan this QR code, go to this website, and tell me what you had for breakfast, right? That's a lot of effort to type the word bagels. And more importantly, good luck with competing with TikTok notifications and the latest promo on a person's phone because you've suddenly given them permission to look at their device and switch off from looking at you. So the big insight was in all those cases, whether it was Zoom, Google Meet, Facebook, or YouTube, the chat was on fire. And our idea very simply was instead of asking people to go to a product, why can't we get a product to people and visualize the chat in real time as we've been showing you so far? We have a lot more to show you. So I'm going to just jump into a couple of things. So our beliefs, no more one-way presentations, unmute the audience and make the chat stream alive. You've seen that. And I want some help from you. So Peter, I didn't have this. I could have sworn I did, but do you think it's a good time to get some ideas from people on a live session they may want to do and use it
Yeah,
to...
I've got some ideas as well in your case, but we can ask the audience and see if any ideas there.
You don't mind if I ask the audience first and use yours as a backup?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. So I'm just going to open an ad hoc interaction over here. And what is the topic of a live session you might do on, let's say, Zoom? Okay. Or since this is on Zoom, let's. So again, Peter, if you were to answer this, go ahead and answer it just to show people how it works. So what is your choice of topic, Peter? I'm not saying we'll select.
I'm going to say health and safety training for stormtroopers in Star Wars.
You seriously want to try that? Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. All right. Let's have a few vulnerable stories. Oh gosh, I love this. How to play better pickleball.
Maybe the history of computing.
You moved from stormtroopers to how to the history of computing. Okay.
Well, it's kind of related. I've got some Star Wars stuff. I've got some old computers. We could do a Wall-E one. Clean up operations for robots.
I have a vested interest in one of them, which is how to play better pickleball, because that's on my agenda as well. So if I were to vote, I would vote with that. I'm not trying to influence you, but just saying. And should we also try the winning wheel? I mean, so this is a good opportunity to also show you, again, if I wanted to pick one randomly over here, my vote is for pickleball, but I love the other topics as well. And if I wanted to pick one at random, this is something we were updating, so I'm going to precariously try and see if it works right now. I know we were doing some updates to it today, but I'm going to create a wheel that I spin that is based on everybody who answered this specific question. And let's see what comes up. All right, it worked. So these are all the people who answered that question so far. Let's spin a wheel to pick one person at random. I should buy a lottery ticket. We did not engineer this, we did not game this, but the universe is telling us we all need to play better pickleball because Rick won the spinning wheel. Rick, you should buy a lottery ticket too, and Rick's topic was how to play better pickleball. So Peter, can we go with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well done. Congratulations, Rick.
Okay, let's do that. Right. All right, so what I'm going to do over here is actually switch gears. I'm going to move out from here and I want to jump into showing you how StreamAlive works. And for that, I'm going to switch tabs and go into my dashboard over here. I've got light mode, which reflects a lot of light off my glasses. So I'm going to go to dark mode, which I usually prefer. And Peter, which one is better for the recording? Light, dark, doesn't matter.
Well, like dark is fine, yeah.
Dark is fine, cool. So what was the topic again that we had from Rick? How to play better pickleball, right? All right. So Rick is about to give a session next month on how to play better pickleball. By the way, if you don't know about Rick, he also runs the Presentation Summit, which is kind of the mecca for people who are into presentations and PowerPoint. You should check it out. The 2025 session is happening next month in October. It is beautiful. The who's who of the PowerPoint universe attends it. And Rick, feel free to tell us more about, put a link to the event or something if you'd like, so more people can look at that. And big news, you heard it here first. It is not going to be the summit this year, or it is also going to be the summit. It's also going to be the pickleball convention, and we're going to come up with interesting interactions for them right here, right now. Beautiful. I love this. So, how to play better pickleball? Peter, what kind of audience should we teach this to? I don't know if you know this, but in the US, there's while you think of it,
I was going to say middle-aged men.
Middle-aged men. I was about to say tennis fans because there's almost like a war in some of these places where tennis courts are being converted into pickleball courts. But we'll go with what you said. Middle-aged men. I like your slant reference to me and a lot of other people, but middle-aged men.
I was referencing myself, but
Middle-aged men, how to play better pickleball. Maybe Rick has a bunch of beautiful slides, of course, beautifully designed slides since he hosts a presentation summit, but he wants to come up with interesting interactions and wants some AI help for questions he should ask. So here's what we're doing. We are asking StreamAlive to come up with interesting questions for a session that we're going to do on how to play better pickleball. And it comes with questions like, hey, in which city or region did you first learn to play pickleball, right? And in one aspect, in one word, what aspect of your game do you want to improve? In a few words, what technique are you most eager to master? Just in the interest of time, I'm going to select all of these, add them in here. And at this point, I've got 15 slides in here. I could import my static slides. So let's pretend that this is a slide about pickleball. It's not, it's a slide about my book. But if this were a slide on pickleball, I could have put it here and had a few more slides. So talking slides, listening slides, talking slides, listening slides, and so on and so forth. By the way, this was the number one pain point for people using StreamAlive, which is it's a pain to convert my presentations into PDF and bring them into StreamAlive, and that's what we are addressing with the PowerPoint add-in, which we will show you in about 5 minutes from now. But first, coming back to our pickleball session over here, I've got this, and all I need to do is then say I need to present this, and I just need to say where I want to present this. So I could say I want to present it in Zoom, for example. And if I would enter the same Zoom link that all of you clicked on to join this meeting today, StreamAlive would read this Zoom chat and do it. But I'm not going to do that because I've already got a StreamAlive bot running in this, which is the presentation that I'm running, which is the one you saw a little while back. So 2 bots, you don't know if they're going to play nice with each other. So I'm just going to use one right now. But I still want to see how beautiful this session that Rick is going to do when he converts the presentation summit into a pickleball convention. I want to see how it's going to be. And especially since the presentation summit is fully virtual this year. So I want a preview of how it's going to look. So I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to click on preview. And I'm going to open up 2 previews to give you a flavor of what's going to happen. The first one is what we call presenter view, which we're going to test with AI responses. So the AI is also generating legit responses to different questions. And again, all that is happening when Rick is making this presentation is, let's open what we call simulated platform view to give you a flavor of what's happening. Just like you did a little while back, people are participating in the Zoom chat. So when Rick asks people in which city or region did you first learn to play pickleball, and he's showing his StreamAlive web app screen, people are simply typing these answers. It is showing up on his screen, and then he goes next. He shows this beautiful picture of a pickleball racket, And then he goes into a question like, in one aspect, in one word, what aspect of your game do you want to improve? And the AI is generating responses that you expect people to say. I don't know why it said graphics there, but performance, optimization, customization. I think it takes it as it assumes it's a different kind of game, not a pickleball game. It's interesting, yes, right. So coming back here, this is kind of what happens in the presenter screen. The presenter screen is populated by what people type in the chat. Let's say Rick asks this question, like in a few words, what advanced technique are you most eager to master in pickleball? And as people type answers, it should come up in a little bit. It shows those cascading slides like you saw a little while back. So one after the other, different answers are going to come up over here, and like Tetris styles. Fun fact, both my co-founders are big Tetris fans, and that's why this Tetris inspired feature. Peter, I really think we need to give the speed of this as a variable that people can change, right? Yeah, it should be faster sometimes.
Slider, yes. Warp speed or
Yeah, a slider maybe.
nail
Yeah.
speed.
Ludicrous speed, yes.
Ludicrous,
So you've seen some of these interactions already, we played them, but again, everything is powered by chat. I can give the illusion of peeking into people's minds as they tell me a challenging pickleball match that they've had and what they learned from it, and just do a voiceover as a facilitator as people give these answers. I can summarize these answers to get a quick sense of what everybody said in the room, and like before, like we did a little while before, get a quick on-the-spot summary of everybody, and look at the popular opinion, look at alternative voices, and so on and so forth. But essentially have a one-to-many conversation that's beautiful. And then last couple of things I want to show you here is at the end of the session, StreamAlive will give you a bunch of beautiful analytics. This is analytics from another session that we hosted last year. I could tell you that we had 44 people with 271 comments who participated. I could show you that the chat was on fire each time a colored band happened, which is when the person ran StreamAlive. What did Jessie Paul, who hosted this session for us, do? She asked people what they do for a living. You had founders and marketers in the room. She asked them about their brands. She asked them about their challenges. And every single person, every one of the 44 people thought she was having a one-to-one conversation with them. They were so participative that StreamAlive at the end generated all these beautiful visuals, which can be downloaded as a PDF or an Excel for Jessie to share in her newsletter as to how amazing the session was. So this is the last part of what the platform does, which is give you a truckload of analytics that show you what a beautiful session you had. We talked about the Zoom app. Some of you are familiar with it. For those who are not, we have an application in Zoom, so you just go to the Zoom app marketplace. There are 3,000 applications out there. You simply search for StreamAlive and you'll find us. Or an easier way is to look at their featured apps, look at their featured AI apps, and we're thrilled to say that we're the #1 featured AI app. We are also the #1 employee engagement app. We are the #1 app for education. So right now we're there. Hopefully we stay there for longer as well. But very, very thrilled about this. You can see Peter smiling even more as the person who leads our marketing. He's obviously very, very thrilled about it. But yes, big source of leads for us, right? Peter, people discovering us within Zoom, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like Zoom needs to push it more because it's like within the Zoom desktop client, it's difficult to like actually discover, oh wow, there's actually a whole ecosystem of add-ins and enhancements that you can do to your Zoom meetings and Zoom sessions. So yeah, hopefully Zoom starts pushing this app marketplace even more.
Absolutely. And before I jump into showing the PowerPoint, Adam, because I do want to show that, I want to just see if you have any other questions. Who doesn't get beautiful fall weather? Absolutely. Rick's question, which we did. YouTube to make responses private. Oh yes, you can have a quick response code. So just to Zoom have a marketplace, this one. Yes, so let's just answer these two questions together, David and Michael's question, which is how to use StreamAlive during on-site events where people are not participating in Zoom or Teams, or for that matter, hybrid events, where so Nike, for example, runs hybrid events where they have some people participating on Zoom across EMEA, and they have some people in Amsterdam who are participating in person. And the people in person are scanning a QR code, which is the only instance we recommend using a QR code when people are physically in person. Not when they're in front of their laptops. Don't make them go to a second device. One device at a time is our mantra. So you could use a QR code mechanism, and I'll show you that very quickly for the pickleball session. So if you were to go to the pickleball thing over here, and let's say I wanted to run this session, I want to present this session right now. And in the choice of platform, I could simply say I want to do it in person for an event or something, or I could say hybrid, in which case I could say Zoom plus in person. I'm not going to do hybrid right now because we already have something running on Zoom, and I want to continue running it because I want to capture your questions. So if I were to say in person over here, I'm just going to go with the default name it says, and I'm going to say present, and I'm going to say yes, show the instructions. And at this point, what it does is pulls up my screen, pulls up a QR code, and you could scan that QR code and participate in the session right now. So if any of you are very keen on looking at how the in-person thing works, you could actually scan that QR code right away. It would open on your browser. It should give you a weird name that is an aquatic creature. So it's a little internal joke on things that are alive in streams, because StreamAlive and because we like dad jokes. And once you do that, you should see a thing in which city or region did you first learn to play pickleball. And if you want to answer that, like you did before, you can also do settings like should everybody see everybody's chat, should you not see, and all of those things. But like we did in Zoom, you're going to see answers pop up on my screen. And this is entirely powered by this. So we don't usually demo this during our live sessions. Yeah, you can see Peter's chat. It looks like he's on WhatsApp, but he's on a thing over here. And there again, the ebb and flow of seeing others' responses in real time, which is a default setting, you could turn it off so you can't see others' settings, but others' responses, but it makes everybody feel connected, right? It makes everybody literally have a conversation around the event as well, and we think that's powerful too. So that's a quick live demonstration of how it works with events. And you could do both. Some people on the QR code, some people on the Zoom chat, and everybody is part of one happy family. So I'm going to
Lux,
disconnect.
before you come out of this.
Oh gosh, I came out of it. Sorry. Do you want me to go
Oh,
back?
no. There was another question about upvoting questions during Q&A, which obviously we can't do in a Zoom chat or Teams chat like this, but it is possible in the browser-based chat.
Absolutely. So if you want to go in here, let's say I'm at this point in a static thing, and can you put a question out there, Peter? So Peter is just typing a question out there in the chat itself. And I'm going to put Peter's favorite question, which is what's for lunch, right? And anything that's a question or smells like a question out there in the chat automatically gets pulled up in the questions tab. So you can see that there's a what's for lunch question in the questions tab, and you can upvote it. There's an upvote thing. So the in-person thing has an upvote feature where questions are auto-captured from the chat, put into a separate bucket, and anyone can upvote a question if they wanted. It is not there for the Zoom thing because it would require taking people to a different place, which we don't want. We want people's attention focused on the presenter, focused on the Zoom chat, and nowhere else. Does that help, Peter?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to disconnect this time. I just want to make sure we have time to show the PowerPoint app because that is a big announcement coming up. I'm super excited. I want to show you folks what we've been building and we are announcing next week. Peter, just keep the URL for the listen page ready if you don't mind, so we can share it with people after we show what we're building. But let me first show you what we've got over here. So from next week, here is how I'm going to be presenting the same presentation I took you through. This is my PowerPoint. It's PowerPoint online. It could be the same thing with PowerPoint desktop. And as you can see, I've got StreamAlive running inside a slide over here, right? Where I could ask this question, where are you joining us from today? And then I could go to a talking slide. So I could have my original PowerPoint slide and pepper it in between, almost like a hero sandwich with interactions. And this is, as people who've seen it so far in action have told us, is hugely game-changing because for the first time ever, a PowerPoint slide will be authored by what the audience types in the chat. So for example, this is kind of what it's going to look like. And the end result is like where people, like you did a little while back, type in the Zoom or Teams chat, and effectively those things, the audience is authoring the presenter slide in real time, right? Like before, the connection is straightforward. I just say where I want to connect it. I could say I want to connect it in Zoom or Teams or wherever. It's going to connect onto that platform. And at that point, StreamAlive knows that any slide, which in this case is my slide 1, My slide 3 will also automatically connect to the same meeting. All of them need to be populated by what people are typing in the chat, right? And the end result is going to be like you did a little while back. You all were typing and it was showing up in my web application. Imagine that showing up in my PowerPoint slide. I'm showing you a preview right now, but that's exactly how it will work. This is powerful because you can have your original PowerPoint deck. You can intersperse interactions. And today you might be presenting it on Zoom. Tomorrow you might be presenting it in person. And the day after tomorrow, maybe on Microsoft Teams or maybe hybrid. But you don't have to change a thing on your presentation. The same interactive presentation, powered by the audience, is going to work across each of these different platforms. Right? So this we think is a huge game changer because for the first time in its 38-year history, PowerPoint slides will listen. And we will be announcing this page very, very soon, which is streamalive.com/listen. It's going to be public very soon. I think, Peter, if you can put the listen URL as well,
Right.
please. So this has, Peter's put the URL over here. If any of you are interested in joining the tribe of beta users for this, just let us know and we'll set you up. It is going into public availability next week, right? Just going to switch back here, going back to my presentation, just seeing if you have, I'm just going to stick all the questions that we have so that I know which ones are addressed. And by the way, I don't know if you folks saw this, but the questions also, it allows me to filter out questions. So you have some, okay, almost all the questions are about technology, which is, I don't know why I didn't put the pickleball question as a non-technology question. We should probably look into that. YouTube, we talked about it. Upvote questions, we talked. PPT text maintain high quality resolution. Yes, it does for the imported PDF, which is kind of why we forced PDF since it maintains it the best. We used to allow importing of PPTs earlier, but it didn't maintain the resolutions as well as we'd like. And therefore PDF is what works best because it's a flat file format. But it doesn't matter anymore with the PowerPoint add-in because you're just going to use your existing PowerPoint. So whatever resolution I have on this PowerPoint slide, Michael is going to stick on with what I present. So I use my original PowerPoint slide and just pepper in the StreamAlive interactions in between. And therefore, it respects your animations, respects your builds, respects any embeds you have in those slides. Just stick with your existing PowerPoint and add the StreamAlive interactions in there, right? You could add an entire quiz if you wanted as well. So a lot of different things you can do over here. I do want to show you one or two other things over here, which I'm super excited about because the biggest pain point we've seen for users is coming up with interactions, and that's why we built this entire AI that a little while back showed us how to come up with interesting questions for pickleball. Right now, here's what's going to happen. If I wanted to, let's say I have a presentation here. This is a presentation I have on increasing your AI IQ for work and life. All right. Let's say I'm a trainer helping people get more comfortable and more native and more hands-on with AI. I could do one of two things for this presentation. I could import my existing things. So you see inside my PowerPoint embed, it has a presentation called How to Play Better Pickleball because we just created it. And for a moment, if we pretend that has the interactions I want, it's a simple case of me coming here and saying, yeah, I would like this interaction in this slide. And I simply add this slide to my PowerPoint. And boom, in one word, what aspect of your game do you want to improve? And the end result will be something like this, where people answer these things and it shows up on the slide over here. Oh, it's giving good answers this time around. Okay, interesting. But let's say I didn't know what, I'm starting from scratch. I've got a 14 slide deck over here on AI training, not on pickleball, and I want to come up with interesting interactions. This blows my mind each time I use it. I want to show you. Here's what I'm doing. I'm using AI on my existing PowerPoint, these 14 slides, 15 at this point, and StreamAlive is reading the entire deck. So it's on slide 5 right now. It's going through every single slide. It's reading it for content, for context, and with its head firmly planted in the world of engagement and the world of StreamAlive's interactions. So this is magical, if I may say so myself. It's telling me, how about this slide after slide 2? Let's engage the audience early by learning about their location to create a social connection before diving deeper into AI history. Great point, right? So I could say, okay, I want to add this into wherever it recommends it goes in. Let's look at the other recommendations. It says after slide 5, AI in the workplace, big picture. Let's just go back and make sure I got it right. Slide 5, AI in the workplace, big picture. Here's what StreamAlive is saying. After slide 5, let's prompt the audience to reflect briefly on their exposure to AI at work. And let's ask them to give one word to describe AI at work. So if I agreed with this recommendation, a simple case of me taking this to wherever I want to place it. And still in beta, it might behave a little badly. So you can see the pop-up is coming a second time, which is not required. It'll be polished by next week when it goes to production. Beta testers will have to live with these little kinks and glitches, which is why it's beta. But if I were to add this interaction in here, I could simply add it in. It's saying, after the slide number 9, what is slide number 9? AI at home. It says, let's ask people, what do you use? Which of these is a use case that you have? Smart TVs, home security, smart speakers. It's come up with interactions based on having read the deck, based on where it thinks there is an opportunity to add interactions, and it's going to come up with recommendations, right? So this is one way in which you can offload the heavy lifting of thinking up of engagement. Just create your deck, add StreamAlive, and then it comes up with these interactions. And then if you want to say go with 4 of these, all you need to do is duplicate the slide. So I just say I want to duplicate it. It's going to give me the overlay again. Just ignore that for a second. There it is. Ignore it. And I'm going to duplicate it one more time. So I've got 3 slides over here. Again, overlay is going to come, weird error messages, the joys of beta. But here it is. And let's say I want to add this interaction over here, and I want to add this interaction over here. I just need to add these interactions in here in these different places, right? You can see each time I move it, it kind of refreshes and tries to get me to start again, which is going to be corrected. I don't think I can add it right now because we had a bug on that. I'll try it anyway. Yeah, it doesn't work right now for the AI generated interactions, but you'd be able to add the interactions into your different slides. And in effect, you'd have 3 interactions in these 3 slides. And you could use it today on Zoom, tomorrow in person, day after anywhere, and so on and so forth. I want to show you one other way we are working on the AI, which is I could do something as simple as this. I could just, go in here. Let's say I decide I want to put an interaction after this slide. It's going to go with an empty slide here. I'm going to add the StreamAlive add-in, which is how it works. It's an add-in. It's private and demo right now, which is why it's not public. So a little add-in comes in here, gives me scary error messages. I'm just going to ignore those for now. Expand this. Don't worry, you will have prompts telling you, hey, make it bigger and stuff. But here's what you can do. You could add an ad hoc interaction. You could, maybe I know exactly what I want to ask at this point. I want to ask a word cloud question and I know what I want to ask. So I just say I want to add a word cloud. This is a question I want to ask, like, what is the meaning of life? Profound question to ask early on in a presentation, but again, we like to torture our AI and see what comes up. Okay, and people give you answers like purpose and happiness and all of those things, hopefully. And I've got a word cloud over here because I knew exactly what I want to ask. But if I don't know what to ask, I could say, give me AI suggestions from the previous. You're changing this. When you see it next week, it'll say from the previous 3 slides, 5 slides, 10 slides. So you say, read the previous 2 to 3 slides and tell me what fits in here over here. In which case it's going to read. You can see it's reading all the slides right now, which it shouldn't do in the final version. But it reads it and says, okay, at this point of the presentation, here are 3 interactions that might fit best, and you just pick one of them and go with it. So a lot of AI help to not just help you visualize and summarize, but also help you come up with interesting interactions. So I could say, okay, this is an interesting question. How has AI changed communications in your workplace? Okay, let's add this particular interaction. I might want to tweak it, change a few things, change the themes, make it look like pepperoni pizza maybe, and then just hit go. And I've got a slide over here that has, for whatever reason, an AI question on top of pepperoni pizza, and people give me beautiful, well thought out answers, and they populate my slide based on what they type in Zoom and Teams. It's a lot of talking. Peter, give me a break. What did I miss?
I think we've covered everything just here. Yeah, we can't wait to get this app out into the public and have everyone use it and giving their feedback and hearing how it's changing the way that presentations are being done. I think, yeah, this is going to really change the way people get feedback and listen to what your audience is saying rather than just a one-way conversation.
Absolutely. I'm super excited about that. So again, folks, Peter put the URL in the chat. So thank you, Mary. We'd love for you to check it out, sign up for the beta, and we'd love to get you set up with that. In a week from now, approximately, if you go to the App Stores, Microsoft Store, and type StreamAlive, you should find it in there as well. So if you already follow us in some form or fashion, we will make sure you know about it. But yes, super, super excited about this. I want to show two other things. Peter, are we good on time?
Yeah, I've got another 10 minutes. Well, let's ask if everyone can spare another 10 minutes or 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Yes, I want to show you. Oh, absolutely. I'm using a Mac right now, Peter. I'm on a Mac. It works on Mac and Windows. Yes, as my colleague Peter says,
We won't hold that against you.
yeah, we've got that's a continuous fight in the office. So Mr. Claridge is heavily on the Windows camp, but yes, it works on Macs as well. Uh, cool. So I just want to show two things very quickly. The second of which is the quiz feature, which we recently launched, and that is the one feature we are updating very, very rapidly to add music and fun and bells and whistles and confetti and things into it. And I want to show you how it looks like right now, where you can run a quiz within PowerPoint if you want it, but we'll just run it within the web application. And we had a few people saying gamma as well, right? I just want to go back to my answers here. Didn't we have a few gammas over here? Let's scroll back and which of these have you used? Yeah, we had at least 11% of the people saying gamma. So for those of you who are gamma fans, this is again not announced yet, but we are building something here about. Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much. We are building something for Gamma, and where it's not built out yet, but we're building out a demo version of it. But the end result is going to be something like this, where you can. And I'm just going to present this presentation that I created on Gamma. So imagine if I had this presentation on Gamma where I talk about an interactive presentation. I'm doing a public speaking workshop. Let's pretend I'm doing a public speaking workshop, and I kick it off with asking people where they're joining from. They type in the chat, it populates my slide on Gamma. So Gamma, interestingly, is very friendly towards web embeds. So we're building a version of StreamAlive that can be a single interaction embedded into a Gamma. And the end result is I can ask people, about the importance of confronting their fear of public speaking and ask them like, okay, on a scale of 1 to 5, would you rather play with spiders or do you want to grab that mic and speak to get a sense of where the room is on an average? Are they on the left side or the right side? Talk about effective public speaking, talk about preparing for public speaking, ask people an open-ended question, maybe like what are some ways you connect with your audience at your next speech and effectively have a conversation, right? So yes, a conversation with the audience as is happening in the chat right now. And we think that is beautiful. We need more people to connect, have conversations, and we are all for parallel conversations like the current war that is happening in our Zoom chat. Beautiful. I love it. I want to show the quiz thing as well. Peter, can we test it out? We made some updates to it.
Oh, I haven't even seen these updates yet.
Oh, and more in terms of visual, it's probably invisible updates, but I'd love to show people how the quiz functionality works. So I'm just going to pull it up over here. So folks, if you can just participate over here, just here's a question. Again, a lot of changes coming up in it in terms of bills and stuff, but I'm asking you a question. In the UK, emissions dropped to just drop. This is a quiz about good news, right? We have enough bad news in the world. So this is a quiz about good things happening in the world. Emissions in the UK dropped. And what target is this helping the UK move towards? So just type 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the chat, please.
I should know the answer to this, right?
You should know the answer to this, yes. And is it?
I don't.
Refresh it over here. Because, if you don't mind typing it again, please, folks. I think it might have gone quiet, or the quiz is not working because we're making a lot of updates on the quiz. This is a test version I've pulled up. And yes, it looks like something needs to be improved over here. So it should be okay in a week from now. Still under thing, but the end result is where it's supposed to pull up a leaderboard. It's obviously wrongly saying that is there. No, I don't need to start the timer, David. I know it gives that illusion, and we're not yet correlated the timer with the question. We are planning to do that though. So maybe my colleagues did that, and we didn't. It's still an experimental feature at this point, candidly. We're just improving it every time.
It's not on the website yet until I know it's going to work.
Yes. But it is in the app, and I think it says beta for people who want to play around with it. But yeah, it's going through a lot of updates right now. But quizzes are something refreshing it. Okay, let's try that, Let's try it one more time. And can we have some answers on this one? What effect did the ban on smartphones have on schools in the Netherlands? We had someone from the Netherlands. No pressure. Hopefully you know the answer to this one. And no, it's not picking up the answers. Sorry about that, folks, but it's supposed to pick up the answers, pull up a leaderboard, reward faster answers, and down the line have sounds and confetti and things coming up. So a lot of updates coming up in the quiz, but that's the direction we're taking it in, right? I just want to make sure I covered all your questions in the last couple of minutes that we have. So I'm going to jump back to questions. Upload questions, we talked about it. PPT text, maintaining high quality resolution. We covered everything, right? Perfect. QRC, we talked about that. We still need to work on our pickleball game, but I think we covered all the questions. And 3 minutes to spare. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. We're going to do exactly the same thing, hopefully with the quiz working this time around on Teams the day after tomorrow. So
We're going to make Teams fun.
Making Teams fun. I think that should be the title of our webinar, Making Teams Fun, right?
Yeah.
Making MS Teams fun because, yeah, and it can be fun and just powered by the chat, right? No instructions. And it's even clunkier in Teams, I find, if you were to give people an instruction saying, hey, install this app, go to the sidebar, click on the top right. Oh, you're on a Mac, sorry, it's on the top left. If you're on a Windows that is beyond this version, it depends on whether your configuration is an Intel Windows thing or some other Windows thing, in which case the thing appears differently. Gosh, I think just put it in the chat is the simplest set of instructions you can give people. It doesn't get simpler than that. Yeah, those of you who haven't tried StreamAlive, please go to streamalive.com. Oh, by the way, I think I'm just going to pull that up here. Last thing, I should have done this earlier. I keep forgetting things I should have done. I don't have the link library as a thing here, or do I? I'm going to pull it up ad hoc. We have a feature called link library, where StreamAlive looks at all things that look like links or smell like hyperlinks. So these are all the links we shared in the chat. I'm going to do a meta share right now and copy that thing. So if you folks want one link that gives you, that's like the mother of all links, here it is. It's a link that should show up on my thing here right now, maybe, but it's a link that captures all the links we shared, which includes, thank you, someone shared my book. Thank you very much. And in-person solutions, better presenting, again, great summit next month. And this time the highlight is they're converting into a pickleball court. And how to get help from StreamAlive, how to sign up for the StreamAlive beta, and our community, which has a change log of most recent features. And I think we have exactly 1 minute to spare. We will end before time. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Hope to see you in future events. Have a lovely rest of your day. Take care.
Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.